So what do you believe? What do you believe? And how does what you believe affect the outcomes of your life? How does what you believe determine your level of wealthiness, healthiness, happiness, and financial abundance in this life? Well, you may say to yourself, well, Joseph, I believe a lot of different things. What do you mean? Be more specific. And it's the absolute truth. We got millions and millions of beliefs, and most of us don't even know that it's going on. But I'm going to show you the three most important beliefs to have, the three most important beliefs to master that are going to help you go further, faster in your life, and what you can do about it. Because the beliefs are the foundation of your life. If you believe you can do something, then you can do it. If you believe you can't do something, then you can't do it. It's that simple. But you think about it, let's go, what is a belief to start with? Because most of us can't believe, if I ask somebody, what is a belief? Most people go, well, it's what I believe about something. Most of the time, I've asked this question over and over again. People use the word belief. They don't know. My friend Tony Robbins always says that belief is nothing more than a feeling of certainty about something. I like to break it down a little bit simpler, if you will. Not going to sound simple in the very beginning, but I'm going to break it down so you'll understand it. And that is this, that a belief is just a feeling. It's the feeling that you get when something happens and you make the decision that it's true or not. That's it. Something happens, an experience happens, whether it is real or something that you made up in your mind. And as soon as it happens, your brain goes, this is real. Or it goes, this isn't real. You're saying, I believe that this is real. I feel like this is real. Or I feel like this is not real. Or I feel like this is A, B, C. And we're making these decisions all the time. Now, for a moment, I want you to forget where your beliefs come from, because that's a rabbit hole that we could go down. But, it comes from our experience. It's something that we're taught, or it comes from our experience that something happened to us, or somebody said something to us, or we drank this, or we saw this, or we did this or something, and we developed that. Whatever it is, here we are right now. It's not that it doesn't matter where it came from. What matters most is what it is right now. And most people don't know. And so there's three beliefs that are fundamental to everything. And these beliefs will determine whether you will do something or you won't do something. These beliefs will determine whether you will feel good, whether you will feel bad. They will determine whether you will be wealthy, whether you won't be wealthy. And here's what they are. Your beliefs about yourself, number one. And it is the number one most important. It's called your identity, what you believe about yourself. Number two, what you believe about other people. And again, I'm going to break these down. And the third one is what you believe about your environment, the world around you, what's going on around. You see, constantly, that's always going on all the time. And it is so ingrained that it becomes our operating system, if you will. It becomes the fundamental, the foundation of how we make our decisions on things. Because if you believe that you can do something, if you believe that you're a great person, you're a good person, and you deserve the best, and you deserve love, and you believe that you're an attractive person, and you believe that people like you, and those kinds of things, then guess what? That's the way you will feel. And if you feel that way, then guess what? That's what you will do. Remember, it's always think, which is where your beliefs live. Think, feel, and then do. And so part of the trick, and it's, again, one of the assignments I'm going to give you, is to go back and see what you do believe about yourself. Now, by the way, those three things are what I call your psychology. Just a big word for your beliefs about yourself, other people, and the world around you. Your psychology. And it does not stop. It's even when you are asleep, your brain is going, I believe this about me, I believe that about other people, I believe this about the world around you. And it's constantly going on, and that's how you filter your life, and that will determine what you do. You see, if I say to you, listen, can you go to the store and get me a gallon of orange juice? In your brain, a million different beliefs are going to go. And they're going to go, well, I believe, yes, I can do that because I believe that I can drive a car. I believe that I know what orange juice is. I believe that I know how to give the right kind of change. I know how to do this. We don't even think about it. Your brain goes boom, boom, boom. Yes, this is true. I can do this. Boom, you're on to do it. But notice I said I. That means that your brain, and anytime you hear I, whatever comes after I is what you believe about yourself. I am this, or I can do this. You're saying, I believe this myself. I believe this about myself, that I can or I can't do something. And see, that most of the time, the challenge with that, and this is why I call it the psychology, and most people leave, they don't even know what's going on. They don't know what they believe about themselves. If they stop and they took a look, a lot of people get scared because they think, well, gosh, I don't think that highly of myself. I don't consider myself, a good person. I don't consider myself a winner. I don't consider myself this. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too black. I'm too white. I'm too I. And they attach all this negative stuff to it. But guess what? They gave it to themselves in that way. And they're continuing to give it to themselves. And it's the same about what your beliefs are about other people. Other people don't like me. Other people are bad. Other people are scary. Black people are this. White people are this. Chinese people are this. Mexican people are this. All of those things. And I'm not saying, when I use those racial examples, I'm not saying that you're racist. I'm just saying that we all have different beliefs going on inside of us. You see, I hear people say all the time, I'm going to go on the racial thing here for a second. People say all the time, no, I'm colorblind. No, you're not. If I'm standing in a crowd of all white people, me, standing in a crowd of all white people, and somebody says, well, did you see Joseph there? And you tell somebody, did you see Joseph there? And they go, well, which one is Joseph? And you're looking at the crowd, and there I am, and I have the same clothes on as everybody else. Are you going to go, well, he's the one that's, 5'9", and no, you're going to go, he's the black guy right there. Why? Because you believe that you pointing out that thing about me, you're not colorblind, you're going this. But your belief is, what you're really saying is, if you're saying you're colorblind, is I do not judge somebody because of the color of their skin. I believe that the color of somebody's skin makes no difference at all with regard to, their kindness or their worth on this earth. Now, I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I want you to get that these conversations are going on all the time unconsciously. And so why am I sharing all this stuff with you? And what does this have to do with you becoming more wealthy? Well, if you are aware first of what your beliefs are about yourself, most importantly, and other people in the world around you, and then you can change it to ones that serve you. I'm going to show you a way of doing it that is so effective. And when I first started doing it, it changed everything. Because listen, I'm going to tell you, I was the worst. I had the worst beliefs about myself of anybody I knew at the time. I believed I wasn't good enough. I believed I wasn't smart enough. I believed that I was a loser. I believed that I didn't deserve love. I believed all of these things. And if you know me now, you're going, oh, come on, Joseph, you never believed that. Yes, I did. I lived in a cardboard box. I was homeless at one point. And the things that I believed about myself, I look at them now and I go, wow, isn't that interesting? But let me tell you, I'm going to tell you how these beliefs came about in me, and you tell me if it isn't true in you in some way. Remember what I said, an experience happens. When an experience happens, you make the decision of whether it's true or not, okay? It's the feeling that we get. When I was 17 and a half years old, 3 grown men tried to take my life because of the color of my skin. And it wasn't just what they did to me physically, beating me. It was what they said about me and about the color of my skin. Now, this was a very intense moment, as you might imagine. They almost killed me, left me for dead. And so those words kept going over and over in my head. Now, I was raised to not believe that stuff. But in that moment, when those things were said to me, and I thought to myself, well, in order for somebody to do that, there's something wrong with me. And I started to believe that stuff, but I started to believe it because I said it over and over again. I relived it over and over again. Why am I telling you this? Whatever beliefs that you have, good and or bad, the ones that you harbor the most, especially the ones about yourself, are the ones that you have told you over and over and over and over and over and over again, to the point that it became automatic, to the point that it became your operating system. It became your rooted belief. It became your identity belief. And so we could sit here and we could go, where did it come from? Or we could go, let's just change it to one that serves us. And the way to do that is awareness is always the first step. The very first question that I asked when I came here today was, what do you believe? And so that's the question I want you to ask. I want you to answer. This is your assignment. I'm going to give you this one very, very quickly. Here's your assignment. I want you to write down as many things as you possibly can that you believe about yourself, the good and the bad, as much as you can. I want you to take 10, 15, 20 minutes. Sit down for 5 minutes and write, I believe this, I believe that, and then get up and go away and then come back and do it again. I want you not to do anything about it until tomorrow. I want you to not to do anything about it. I want you to start today or as soon as possible. And I want you to write down everything that you believe about yourself. Some of it might not be fun. Some of it, it'll surprise you, because my saying is, and well, it's not my saying, it's in the Bible, as you seek, so shall you find. But I also say, as ye seek, so shall ye continue to seek, and so shall it find you. What that means is even when you walk away from it, even when you're going and you're making dinner or making breakfast or something, your brain is still going, oh, I, because now I'm aware. And all I want you to do is just to jot it down. And at the end of the day, I want you to look at it. And I want you to put a check mark to the things that serve you. At the end of the day, I want you to look and go, okay, well, I believe that I'm a good person. Check mark. I believe that I can do anything I put my mind to. Check mark. Now, by the way, the thinking and the searching process is the remembering and the rewiring process of your brain. Remember, to means to do again, but to dismember means to take apart. To remember means to put back together your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. And so it's all there. Everything that you've ever touched, tasted, smelled, experienced in your life is in your unconscious mind. So I want you to search for it. Again, it might not be that fun. You're only going to basically on this one, you can do it with all three of them, but I want you to do it on the identity piece. What do you believe about yourself? And then at the end of the day, and you've checked it off and you've gone, okay, here's what's great and here's what's not so great. Here's what I want you to do. First off, I want you to pat yourself on the back because you did it. Take the day to do it. And at the end of that day, or the end of the day, when you look at all that stuff, I don't want you to go, well, look at all of these things that I don't believe about myself. This is bad. This is terrible. I want you to go, wow, at least I know. Now I found it. Now I can do something about it. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to go, what is the antithesis or the opposite? Or what do you want to believe? What would you rather believe? So if you say to yourself, I believe I'm too fat. Okay, then what is the antithesis? Or what is something that would serve you better? I believe that I can do something about my health. I believe that at least I'm on this side of the ground. Any and everything that you can say that serves you. Now, I'm not saying, yes, I am saying lie to yourself sometimes because you've been telling these lies. You can say anything at all. Anything at all will release the pressure off of there. And that's what you want to do. Because see, if you're going through life and you're feeling like you're too fat or you're too broke or you're not good enough and so on and so forth, it's cortisol release. But as soon as you go, okay, well, I can do something about this. I believe I can do something about this. Why? Because I did something about this. I believe that it's time for me. I believe that and even if you're just saying it, remember what I said, the beliefs that I have and the beliefs that you have come from what? They come from you saying it over and over and over again. And that's the next step. Once you write down something that is the antithesis or something that serves you, something that feels better, even if you don't believe it, the next step is say it. Say it. Say it over and over again. You can do an incantation. You can say, I say to myself, if you go back and look at some of the other videos, when I first started to realize that these things were hindering me, I got one global belief. And my belief is that I, Joseph McClendon III, am a magnificent example of what is possible. I'm a God-guided expression of health, wealth, happiness, and joy for myself and everybody that I have the privilege of touching. I believe that anything I put my mind to, I can make happen. I believe that I'm a good man. I believe that I'm here on this planet to make a difference in people's lives. Now, I said those things over and over again. Real quick story. My friend shared with me about something called incantations. And incantations are when you move your body and you say something out loud. It's deeper than an affirmation. And he told me that he went and ran on the beach, for an hour, yelling out this incantation. Well, I was living in the desert at the time, and I drove out to the beach, Because remember, I always model what works. That's why I'm telling you this, so that you can model what I'm saying. I went to the beach, and I started at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I said exactly what I just said. I, Joseph McClendon III, am a God-guided expression of health, wealth, happiness, and joy. I believe, and I said these things over and over again, and half a dozen other things. And I started at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I finished at almost 5 in the evening. Running all, for miles and miles. And don't get me wrong, I didn't run all of that time. I ran, and I would stop because I was moving my body as I was doing this. Because when you move your body, it goes even deeper. Why am I saying this? Repetition is the mother of all belief. Repetition is the mother of all belief. Whatever you say will cause you to believe something. Now, I got dozens and dozens of examples of that, but I'm sure you can get it that that's the way it is. So you don't have to believe it to believe it. You just have to repeat it over and over again. So the exercise is really, really simple. Write down what you already believe, the good and the bad. Put a check mark by what is great, and then look at all the other things and go, let me make a better belief about that. Sometimes it's just the opposite. And the next, celebrate because you did it. And the next, get out. And by the way, you don't have to run, but I want you to find some time for at least 5 minutes a day. We're just reading this out loud. And you don't have to, you can go through, you go through it. You don't have to be as poetic as I did, or you can borrow the one that I did. Because when you do, remember, this is about conditioning yourself. This is about making a new muscle, making something that is automatic, making something, that is your default. You see, the hole that I had to dig myself out, and the hole that I've helped so many people dig out, is the whole of this belief, this psychology that they have about themselves. Some people say, well, it's mindset. Yeah, well, mindset to me means that you have a set of thoughts in your mind about a specific thing. What about money, about this or whatever? This is about psychology. Psychology is what will determine a mindset. Will determine whether you will have this mindset about money or about your health or about whatever it is. Psychology. Start with I am. Start with your belief about yourself. And then you can do the same thing about what you believe about other people. And you can do the same thing about the world around you. Now, all the time, whenever, and I appreciate you so much that you allow me in your life and to share with you these things that, they're not just things that I made up. I've been a practicing neuroencoding specialist for over 30 years now. And I said on another video, I don't teach theory. I do it for myself, and I teach other people to do it as well and get results. And now it's your turn. And so again, I thank you. I appreciate you. I thank you for your trust in me. And I thank you in advance for doing the work, because it's not going to happen just you going, okay, well, this is great. It was a nice little thing. Do it. Even if you just start with one and say it over and over again until it becomes who you are. You deserve it. You deserve the absolute best. You deserve to program yourself. There's a saying that I use all the time. I forget. I didn't make it up, but it said it's never too late to have a happy childhood. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. You can't change what happened in the past, but you can change how you feel about it. And you can change what can happen in the future as well. It's never too late to have a happy future as well. And this is how to do it. Decide exactly what it is. And then lastly, remember this. Life is exactly what you dare to make it. And fortune favors the bold. And the trick to life is to boldly step up and dare to make your life magnificent. I believe in you, and I believe that I love you. And I'll see you at the top. I'm out.